Good morning from a chilly morning here in Austin, Texas. It was 60 degrees this morning. Hasn't been that cold in months. It's usually 80 to 90 in the morning. So here in Austin, we're all pretty excited about the weather. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that's going on in my own life that has really taught me even more about recovery work and repair work and restoration. I left my glasses at home this morning, and so today, without any glasses, I'm going to talk to you about how I'm redoing a house. I can tell you, I've sold more houses than I can count over the last 15, 18 years when I was helping to run a real estate company. I've sold my own houses. Redoing a house is a whole different story. Now, for some of you that do that for a living, hold on, listen, I'm not going down to the guts of the house. We're not totally remodeling it. I'm just redoing it with going room to room. It's incredibly cathartic. I love it. It's a lot of fun, but it's frustrating as hell. I have noticed that there are several parallels because just the other day, I decided I was going to redo the laundry room because it was disgusting. And I was redoing it and I repainted it, came out fantastic. But then as I redid the paint, I looked at the trim and I was like, oh my gosh, this trim looks awful. It's yellowed over time. It looks terrible. And so I had to do all the trim. And then I realized, you know what? Like, this is incomplete. The shelf is terrible. Now I got to do the shelf. So I'm trying to find some pine wood to make a real nice shelf and make it look sharp. Then I realized the ceiling needs to be repainted. And that's unfortunately the way recovery work can sometimes go as well. In recovery work, it is frustrating because you'll do some work and feel like maybe you and your partner, or even you on your own, are like, man, I feel good. Like, this makes sense. And then boom, something else will happen. It's kind of like you feel like, man, we have some good momentum and things are going well. And then right when you feel like you have some momentum, something else comes up in your heart or your soul, or your partner struggles with something else, and you start to go, oh my gosh, can we just get some momentum? Now, there are several parallels to redoing a house to the repair work that you're probably going through as an individual or as a couple. Number one, it gets frustrating. If you're anything like me, I just want to be done. When I'm redoing this room, I'm like, can we just be done? I just want to be finished. And in recovery work, we can be the same way. Can we just be healed? Can we not have 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, 5 steps forward, 1,000,000 steps back? Why does it have to go like that? It's frustrating, but the goal is progress, not perfection. When I'm redoing this stuff, I'm understanding that I can't get frustrated because I'm not done yet. What I've also learned in redoing this house is how you can just really get in a rush. I spilled a ton of paint the other day. I was pretty pissed and really got upset because I was rushing just to be done. And I'll tell you, in repair work, we try and rush. We rush all the time. We're always looking for a shortcut, and there are no shortcuts. We're trying to just hurry up and be done, especially if we're the unfaithful, because we're just so uncomfortable with the process, and we just want to be at the finish line. And I have to tell you, it doesn't work that way. It's not going to work that way. In fact, that will do more damage than good. Another parallel to this whole metaphor is the fact that what used to serve well in the home probably needs to come out to be brought up to new standards, new appearances. It just needs to be refreshed. It's the same way with childhood pain. You know, what we used to do when we were a child, how we used to handle things when we were a teenager, or stuff we started to believe about ourselves when we were young, there comes a point that doesn't work anymore. That no longer serves us well. We've got to mature. We've got to heal. We've got to address things that we have been avoiding for maybe decades. And if we want to rebuild, we have to be willing to confront that stuff that no longer serves the rebuilding. It can't stay with the new decor. It can't stay with the new plumbing. It's not going to work. It's going to cause problems. And maybe you're trying to redo your relationship. Maybe you're trying to redo your own healing. And the old is not working with the new that your therapist or your group or whatever it is that you're trying to embrace. I'm sorry to say that stuff has to go. It can't stay. This is a new season. This is a new rebuilding. And there's some things you're going to have to be willing to part with if you want to heal, if you want to grow, if you want to find that new self, that new relationship, that new marriage. It's going to require that you part with those things because they can't go with you into the next season of your life if you want joy, if you want healing, if you want fulfillment, if you want the progress that you so desperately want. Here's just a few final thoughts to remember about the rebuilding process. And while you're working on rebuilding or redoing your relationship, think about me getting frustrated, spilling paint, trying to match decor and all that fun stuff. Number one, it's the long haul. You have to buy in. You can't look at it and go, I'll give it a shot for a month. That's not substantial time. You're in this for the long haul. And anything worth doing requires a long haul and requires a process, requires expertise to do it the right way. Next, remember, this is your house. There's always going to be people critiquing your styles. There's always going to be people on the outside critiquing what you're doing. This is your house. This is your process. Do it the way you want to. There's always going to be people that complain or judge you or shame you or say, how could you stay with him? Or how could you give her another shot? Or I can't believe that you are willing to do this. I would never do that. Listen, this is your house. Build it the way you want to. Finally, we're not dealing with houses. We're dealing with lives. And I'm sure that if you're trying to rebuild your life, it's agonizing. It's difficult. And it's probably ripping at the core of who you are. And that's okay. Because if you want to do it right, you got to go down deep. Remind yourself, rebuilding is harder than just building. You're not just rebuilding, you're repairing and rebuilding. And that's hard as hell. And that's okay that it's that hard. But you deserve 100% of compassion and kindness. You deserve to be tolerated because it's not going to be easy. If someone's trying to rush you, that's their issue, not yours. If you're trying to rush somebody else, that's your issue. Listen, you've got to buy into it for the long haul. The finished product is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a house that you can look at it and go, we built this and we built it the right way with our own blood and sweat and tears and money and sacrifice. So whether you're rebuilding a relationship or rebuilding your own life, give it everything you have to give. It deserves it and it requires